Stations such as ash won out in the day, and I think that was a positive thing.
Thank you, Mr Chair. It's a pleasure to stand and speak to the committee stages, part one of the Smoke-Free Environments Controls and Enforcement Amendment Bill. And at the outset, can I congratulate the Minister for her success in continuing on this very important legacy of having cultural change, I guess, in New Zealand. And I think that we've been very successful over a number of years in having cultural change around the issue of smoking. And I think that it gives us, actually, in many things that we debate in this House, I think a ray of hope in terms of the sorts of legislative and educative processes that if we combine them successfully, we can make cultural change and we can change attitudes. And I think this is an area that demonstrates that very well, and I hope gives us all the courage to be bold in the sorts of ventures and leadership that we take as parliamentarians going forward on behalf of New Zealanders, and particularly in the interests of their health, because that is what is fundamentally at the bottom of what we are doing here with this amendment bill. Part one, before I go on and talk specifically about part one, I do want to also recognise Steve Chadwick, who is in the debating chamber and who made many of the hard yards, I think, on this particular area. I know that Steve Chadwick suffered personal attacks and abuse because of the position that she took some years ago on actually being a leader in this area and front-footing this issue when it was not popular to do so. And look, Steve, I want to say to you, wear that as a badge of honour. It's something that you will always have, and I congratulate you on that. Part one is interesting because I am not on the select committee, but I happened to be substituting in for another member on the day that this part of this, one of the clauses here was being debated in the select committee, and it was a very interesting debate because it was around the herbal cigarettes part of this and the herbal products. And there was quite a dilemma about whether herbal products were a good thing and ought to be on display because they were a gateway out of smoking nicotine, or whether they in fact had harmful side effects as well. And it was quite a difficult discussion for the select committee to have because it appeared that there had been no submissions on this particular issue to guide the select committee. So the select committee really had to ask questions of the officials who gave very good advice about what evidence what evidence did or did not exist on this particular issue. And Mr Chair, it's interesting to note that since the select committee, I think, made the right decision to include herbal products in this banning of displays through this bill, that it's become even into more sharp contrast with the debate that we've been having in the country about chronic. Because I believe that chronic probably would fit the definition of being a herbal product under this part of the bill. And so what foresight the select committee had, guided by the officials, to actually make the right decision to say, well, yes, herbal products, we have no evidence that they are beneficial to the whole health harm that is caused by smoking. And in the absence of that evidence, we will also ban herbal products from being displayed in shops and in retail outlets as well. And of course, they also had to deal with the very tricky issue about what to do about internet sales.
Sorry to interrupt the honourable member. The time has come for me to leave the chair. This debate is interrupted. I shall resume the chair at 7:30.